Hey, editor, how are you doing today?
Chop, chop. Make it look good, player.
This is not funny!
Strange and frightening sounds echo through the halls! Dig it!
Game over.
Let me stage it. Let me use my nails. I can open this. Ooh, no, that didn't work.
I'm in the shot. Let's cut and do that again.
You in the movie?
Does anyone have a pastille or a peppermint?
Need some help there? I'm all right. Just don't worry about my ankle this time.
Now look, I can show you exactly how I do what I do, but there's a certain you ate it with the shells. You are an interesting character, you know that? What does it look like up there?
Looks like the black guy in the movie should not be here.
Oh man. Okay, you know what? We just gonna have to wait.
You better get out of here quick. I feel like I'm in a Western. All of a sudden, I turned out to be John Wayne.
Yes!
Pumpkin, what's wrong?
This place is haunted!
Sweetie, I need you to give this place a chance. No, we're out.
Cut! Thank you.
We making a movie!
Three, two, one, flash.
I'm telling you, there's ghosts in this hallway. I felt them. Let's put it that way.
Old school Disneyland is my jam. Haunted Mansion is the ride you go to first.
I have 3 kids, so I've been on this ride many times.
I'd actually worked at Disneyland in film school.
I remember being absolutely horrified. I was scared, screaming, all this riding thing, wow, wow, wow.
I came into this with a bunch of things that I just knew I needed to see as just a fan of the ride. The hitchhiking ghost, for instance.
Of course, the Tiger Lady portrait, April to December.
The cemetery.
The bats, stanchions.
Like suit of armor.
Gliding over the dining room.
The bust of the heads.
We all know what we want out of this. My job is to surprise us along the way, but if I don't deliver the candy, then I haven't really done my job. I wanted to be really faithful to the ride. There's a lot of brilliant storytelling and inspiration there. But the thing about the ride is that it's all very suggestive. It's a darkroom ride. You get the sense that there's this much bigger world, a galaxy of characters from every era. What was here when I came on board was this beautiful script by Katie Dippold, who took us outside of the story of the mansion itself. The mansion is sort of a given. It exists, fully formed. It has a history. Our characters are discovering it.
We're here, Mom.
The writer Katie instinctively knew if we tell a story about a group of people who are facing their fears in this haunted mansion that is kind of designed around that concept, they're just gonna go together really well. So really my job here was just not to mess that up. Great. Cut.
Flash.
He's over there.
I love Justin. He's very creative, and also he has like a childlike essence. This is a really playful set.
We've been working on the movie for a few months. Everybody loves each other.
Seeing this cast come together, we bonded. It was fun to go to work every day.
Oh, me and Rosario, it's like she's my actual mom. On and off set, that's my mama.
Funny.
Thank you.
Hi, Mom.
My dream for this movie was to put together a wonderful ensemble that was going to infuse this script with so much life and eccentricity. To see Danny DeVito.
What was the cholesterol on this woman?
Oh my God. Owen Wilson.
I wanted to be in the show business since about the age of 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh my God. Tiffany Haddish.
Ooh. Did you let my bag hit the floor?
Rosario Dawson.
Deal with this scene.
And LaKeith Stanfield.
Shut up.
Who you telling to shut up?
I'm kind of like this every day on the set.
Mark.
One of the big things that was important to me coming into the movie is to really place this mansion in New Orleans. I mean, we almost take it for granted that it's in the middle of New Orleans Square at Disneyland. You have the beignets and stuff. But like, what does that mean?
It matters where you shoot. The energy of the place is really important.
It's unlike any city in America.
New Orleans literally was a melting pot of cultures that in other parts of the country could not figure out a way to get along. In New Orleans, people figured out how to make gumbo and etouffee and jazz music.
We have 2 weeks of photography down in New Orleans. We're actually building Ben's apartment in the only vacant lot in the French Quarter. We were able to build a facade in.
It gives a gravitas to this place that already feels magical.
We can see those exteriors, the bayou, the French Quarter, the Garden District, things like that that'll be so rich for the film.
My experience in Louisiana was being strapped to a chair and dragged through the woods. I didn't like hotsy tots, need a lot of good food. I just got abused in the woods.
Very nice. Much better.
We felt it was really important to be able to build the mansion in its entirety.
We had almost 40 days of shooting in there, so it justified building this huge mansion.
I think it's really important for our actors too. I think being able to wander a hallway this big behind us and be in the expanse and the scope, it feels sort of epic when you're in our mansion.
The first time you open that stage door, it is big. We are like tiny little peanuts walking around in this set.
I nearly cried when I walked onto this set. When I tell you the level of detail, it's spectacular.
The scale, you didn't have to pretend.
These are not just movie sets. These are beautifully constructed pieces of art.
You feel like you got out of the chair on the right and you got to walk around and really experience it.
There was just so many details to pull from. In the stretching room, the original wallpaper, it's a really fine pattern, and we were worried that it was going to be too fine on film, so we had to make it a little bit larger.
It took not 1 or 2 sofas like the ride has, but literally 10 sofas, a collection of armchairs. We recreated the organ down to the candelabra on either side.
Me, my size, I can walk into the fireplace. I mean, I'm not gonna, but I'm just saying the rooms are expansive, 25, 30-foot ceilings.
We built the entire facade of the house on the back lot here. The second story was put on digitally, but we have the gates and the path up to the house, live oaks dripping with Spanish moss. We did work a lot of that flavor into the set deck.
The very first orientation to the movie, we got to go to the park after hours. We walked through the haunted mansion with the lights off, and then we did it a second time with the lights on to really see all the detail.
It really did become meticulous for our production designer, Darren Guilford, looking at every door handle, every piece of wallpaper, and making sure that wherever we could use those in our mansion, we would.
A lot of the Disney folks and a lot of the Imagineers, they got to come to visit, which was great. We did a big tour where we had a lot of standing set. I was a little nervous about it.
For them, when those front doors of the mansion opened up and they got to walk through the hallway, into the stretching room, into the library, into the dining room.
And they were very gracious.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. That for me was one of the most satisfying times.
Shout out to Jeffrey Kurland, our costume designer, but also a character designer at the same time.
It's such an incredible project as far as design is concerned and creativity.
Every character, he would have these research sheets, what time period they might have come from, what people dressed like in that time period.
It's late 1700 all the way to the present time. I would say Madame Leota was the most difficult.
I went for measurements. You know, it takes 5 minutes. I've never had measurements like this. Finger to wrist, wrist to elbow. Why?
Before you can put her in the crystal ball, you have to flesh out the entire character.
They showed me the drawings for the costumes. That informed everything.
I have a wonderful crew, terrific cutter fitters and tailors. I couldn't be happier.
The fans will have a fun time to go, oh, wow, I never saw that room. Where's that part of the cemetery?
In our house, when you're in the kitchen, which is a room that the mansion doesn't have, and then you look out the windows to the back of the house and there's the cemetery, you never see the back of the house in Anaheim. It gave us free rein to sort of place things and say that that's where they are.
The Imagineers were incredibly helpful, getting us familiar with the history of the attraction, the people, and we wanted to pay tribute to a lot of those Imagineers as well, and we have. There's carvings of names in walls.
This is Big Rolly Burgers. That's for Rolly Crump, one of the big Imagineers. Same with Geist Bourbon. Pickwick, one of the ghosts. We actually have Pickwick hanging from the chandelier. Little things that most people wouldn't pick up on, but we wanted to do that.
And then, of course, all the paintings.
We had artists all over the world bringing their special vibe to these well-known paintings from the attraction. I've had to have an art curator whose only job was to take care of wrangling the pieces of art that we incorporated into the movie.
As a prop person, Madame Leota's crystal ball, it jumped out like, oh, that's the cool prop I have to get right on.
Madame Leota!
Yeah.
Obviously, huge visual effects. We made many versions of these.
Madame Leota?
I would say the biggest challenge was Ben's camera. This is such a featured prop in the film, and we had nothing to really base it on. In the ghost camera world, you would see meters and light detectors, and we just sort of made this on the prop truck.
2, 1, flash.
He's an engineer, so it has to look professional, but it needs to have a little bit of a campy feel to it. That was really cool.
The special effects that are used in the ride go back to the 1800s. The Pepper's Ghost effect. Even though you know there's a trick being played on you, there's a physicality to it. There's something that exists somewhere. Because you can't figure it out, it's just charming. You just go along with it. And I wanted to do that as much as I could with the movie special effects. Even when you saw something that was preposterous, it's not quite CG. Is it a puppet? What is that?
Audiences are way too smart anymore. That floating candelabra could have been digital. Easy.
But I do think when you're starting from a baseline of something practical that you see in camera and that everyone is on board with, it makes that process in post so much easier.
We're doing things in real time that you would normally not. You'll shoot a scene, Justin, he'll do it again with a twist on it with the actors, and you are able to layer those together, immediately see it. You don't have to wait through millions of ones and zeros to get the result.
And 3, and 2, and 1, and 4, and jump, yeah.
Joel Mitchell, our special effects coordinator, did an amazing job being able to come up with a lot of these practical gags.
In the movie, several of the characters go for rides in the chairs through the house, very much like the Doom buggies. The one who takes the most memorable ride is probably Harriet the Psychic, and she's sitting in Madame Leota's chair, which looks like a very cool Haunted Mansion version of the Doom buggy. That was super fun to create from scratch.
When I was lifted up in that harness, here we go. I'm sure it was only because I didn't have to do it very many times, but when I did do it, I felt like I'm flying. I'm flying right now.
Oh, that feels good once you're down.
It's things like that that are just a lot of fun. You create illusion. That's what we do.
At the end of the day, what is it about the ride that's so powerful?
I hope it is a little bit scary. I mean, scary is fun.
We're hoping that we can entertain.
You find yourself laughing, and you find yourself actually getting through it.
It's beautiful and fun.
I'd love to mention how much creative, artistic talent it takes to pull off a movie like this.
People are getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go on stage. There's always a smile on their face.
from sets, costumes, props, cinematography. Everybody is working so closely together.
I think that's the thing that makes the movie so special. You want to feel like this is true to everything we love about this ride.
It's just magic, and it's really, really exciting.
See what I mean? Did you see that? I felt it. Oh no, I ain't going in there. I'll see y'all. Goodbye.
Welcome, dear friends. I am one of the 999 happy haunts lurking in the shadows of the Haunted Mansion. And just like the attraction, the movie is packed with secrets and surprises that are sure to send shivers down your spine. Beware, dear friends. You may find hidden references and Easter eggs that even the most dedicated Haunted Mansion fan may have missed. Step this way, if you dare.
Let's do this.
But be warned, once you enter, there's no turning back.
Good luck.
The mansion's facade, with its wrought iron balconies and spooky shutters, is a nod to the iconic architecture of the French Quarter in New Orleans, a city steeped in history and mystery, and a perfect setting for this eerie estate.
There are a lot of colorful theories about this place.
The production design team took on the chilling challenge to match every ghoulish detail from the attraction, from the plaque on the front gate to the weather vane, which looks suspiciously familiar.
I've been dying to go to this place for 60 years.
Funny you should say that, Danny. The year 2023 marks exactly 60 years since the facade of the Disneyland Haunted Mansion was completed.
The mansion, fully built.
But the doors wouldn't creak open until 6 years later.
That's not fair.
So for all those years, people were dying to see what was inside. The filmmakers on Haunted Mansion spared no expense, recreating every sinister room from the ghastly attraction. If you weren't careful, you could find yourself trapped in a chamber with no windows and no doors.
Is anybody else seeing this?
It's not a stretch to say this room was faithfully recreated. From the wallpaper to the gargoyle candelabras, to the dreadfully stretched portraits, originally designed by Disney animator Mark Davis. Speaking of portraits, the mansion is filled to the deathly brim with them, and the filmmakers on Haunted Mansion lovingly reproduce nearly every last one.
You gotta respect it.
They may be beautiful to behold, but each one holds a story of terror and woe, a glimpse into the cursed history of this place. Like the portrait of Master Gracie, who once lived in the mansion.
This is all my fault.
By chance, the name matches famed Disney Imagineer Yale Gracie, known for designing many of the ghostly effects inside the attraction.
That's when things started to get weird.
But he is just one of 999 happy haunts who reside here. They come from all over the world, and the filmmakers pay tribute to this vast collection of ghostly inhabitants by peppering them throughout the film. Like the bride Constance, who axed the heads off all of her exes, is a clear nod to the bride haunting the attic in the attraction. Or these dueling gunslingers, it's no shot in the dark to say they're a callback to the ghosts found in the grand ballroom. Look alive, or you may get caught in the crossfire. But one is not so happy.
Looking for me.
Let me introduce you to the Hatbox Ghost, one of the most fearsome specters on the estate.
No reason to be afraid.
Appearing in the attic when the Disneyland attraction first opened, he mysteriously disappeared shortly after. Some say he was too frightening to unsuspecting visitors, but the true reason remains unknown.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
He made his way back to the mansion in 2015.
Surprise.
And has been spooking citizens ever since. Though he has no name, the film called him Alistair Crump, a nod to Disney Imagineer Raleigh Crump, known for the weird or strange, and creator of many of the ghostly sights in the mansion. The characters in the film travel to another haunted estate called Crump Manor. The facade was spine-tinglingly fashioned after the terrifying attraction at Walt Disney World. Inside this horrifying abode, you may find even more hidden nods to the attraction, from these frightfully surprising stanchions to the tombstones with humorous epitaphs.
I summon Madame Leota!
Possibly the most famous spirit to haunt these halls is the mesmerizing Madame Leota.
Madame Leota was the greatest medium ever.
With a turn of her head, she can summon the dead.
Rap on a table, it's time to respond.
You can find many of her otherworldly incantations hidden within the flickering frames of the film. Delving deeper into her origins, she wears a headdress which foreshadows the form of her earthly tomb, a crystal ball.
Trapped in my crystal ball for probably months now.
This chair in the seance room was designed to recall the phantom carriages that guide you safely through the grisly parlors and chambers of the attraction, appropriately named Doom Buggies.
Help me!
But it's not all gloom and doom. Welcome to the Grand Ballroom, one of the most beloved rooms of all. Take a closer look and you may find some familiar spirits. The organ in the film was diligently rebuilt to honor the original found in the Disneyland attraction, which was the same one used in the film 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
Y'all playing tricks on me,
The witching hour draws near. You may wish to depart before the clock strikes 13. And be sure to take the right door, for who knows what may be lurking on the other side.
I do love surprises.
I hope you've enjoyed exploring the eerie corridors and creepy old crypts of the Haunted Mansion movie with us.
We did it!
Remember, the next time you visit, keep your eyes peeled for all the hidden nods to the attraction. Who knows what kind of surprises you might uncover, or who may hitch a ride.
Take us with you?
Terrifying. Until then, farewell, foolish mortals, and hurry back.
You'll be back.